My husband knows that every time I push for us to go grocery shop at Trader Joe's, I'm most likely running out of wine. He's not wrong about that. I love shopping at Trader Joe's for wine. Not just for wine, I just love Trader Joe's in general, but their wine selection is so good and prices are impeccable. So in this episode of my wine diary, I am starting something new. I'm going to share my Alco-Haul with you, this time from Trader Joe's. You guys, Trader Joe's and I go way back. We go way back. I used to wine shop at Trader Joe's ever since it opened in Tampa, Florida, which wasn't actually that long ago, probably around 8 years ago or so. And way back in the day, I knew extremely little about wine. And yes, I used to buy their $2 chuck, which I actually still get to this day, but only for my mulled wine that I make for Christmas. So I kind of still get that one every once in a while, but I just love their selection. I like the simplicity behind their shelving. And I'll get to this in a second here, but I just love how they break everything down either by country or by the wine type. So for me, it's very easy to shop there, and they always have something new. So you can always find staples that you like, and you always find them there all the time. But then they always add some new inventory, and that's what I truly enjoy, because to me, shopping for wine at Trader Joe's, it's something similar to thrifting, if that makes sense. And the prices, I keep saying the prices, but their prices are just so affordable. They have some really expensive wines, but for the most part, you can find a fantastic bottle of wine anywhere from $12, $13 to $25, $30. So for that reason alone, I think that if you still have not shopped at Trader Joe's for wine, you definitely should give it a go. Trader Joe's is not the closest grocery store to me, so we normally shop at Trader Joe's for food around twice a month, maybe once a month. And it's once a month when I usually stock up on some wines there. Now, I normally bring a two packs, so 2 reusable wine bags, each with four sections in them, so each would fit 4 wines, and I usually try to limit myself to that, so I would get 8 wines total, and they last me pretty much the whole month, sometimes less if my hubs decides to drink some of that wine with me as well, in which case we can always go back. But what I normally do is I immediately grab a couple of wines that I really like and enjoy, and I just stick them right in there, and then I go and explore and I find something new. I usually think of the food that we're buying at Trader Joe's at that time, and I try to find something interesting in the wine section to pair that food with later in the week. So that's kind of the logic behind how I shop for wine at Trader Joe's. But yeah, normally it's about 8 bottles. And what I have for you today is exactly that. So I have 8 bottles of wine that we got just yesterday while grocery shopping at Trader Joe's. And some of them are my staples, but most of them are actually new to me. So I want to show you those one by one. The first wine that I always grab at Trader Joe's is Cava. Cava, for some unexplainable reason to me, is actually not that popular in other stores. You can find 10 different types of Prosecco. You can find champagne. You can even find Cremants in a lot of stores, but Cava is just not that popular. And Cava is a Spanish sparkling wine. I have a great video specifically dedicated to Cava. Please go watch that. But Cava is my personal favorite sparkling wine. I love it so much. It's so simple, made in a traditional method, just like champagne. And the cost is chef's kiss. Really, really good. So Trader Joe's has at least 3 Cavas by 3 different makers, and I usually gravitate to this one because to me, I don't really associate Cava with a lot of money. To me, it's, again, Spanish sparkling wine that's made in the method identical to the champagne method or the traditional method. but it actually doesn't break your bank, so it costs way, way less. So this is the one that I usually go for. This is a product of Spain, and yeah, this is it. It is called La Grania, I want to say. I have no idea how to pronounce this, but this is the cava that I get. It's got this blue goose on it. Hope you guys can see it right there. And this cava is absolutely great. It says organic, made with organic grapes. It's vegan. It is the product of Spain. It's imported, like I said. So the price point of this one is $7.99. I mean, do you see what I mean? So it's dry, it's delicious, it's fruity. I absolutely love it. So I always like to have it, whether just for a glass of sparkling on a specific evening, or sometimes I make something different with it. So maybe on a given morning I'll make like a mimosa with it or something like that. Cava is good for that as well. I brought up the price of the previous wine for you because I get it so often. I know exactly what it costs. Truth be told is I actually don't remember every single price of every single bottle that I got. I think I do for most of them, but not every single one. So if I can't find the correct pricing online, then just trust me when I tell you, I have not spent over $17 on any individual bottle of wine that I'm about to show you. And these two are not an exception. So these two are Sauvignon Blancs, and one is from Marlborough County in New Zealand, and the other one is from France. And I got these two Sauvignons for a specific reason, because I'm actually going to film a video for you about Sauvignon Blanc, and both of them were under $10. So I'm going to show you this one real quick. So this is the New Zealand one, and this one here is called Bistro, and it is the French Sauvignon. Next video to come will be about Sauvignon Blanc, comparing the New Zealand version with the French version, but these were very inexpensive. They look great, so I grabbed them. Next up is this 2021 bottle of Côte du Rhône. I love Côte du Rhône wines. I love them specifically so for summertime. This one here was under $10 as well. And yeah, not much to say about this. This is yet again imported from France. I have not tried this specific one. The bottle looks very, very beautiful. I love when winemakers get very creative with their bottling and with their labels as well. So this one looks kind of ripped here, but it actually isn't. So yeah, the label is gorgeous. And I think that that's definitely one thing about Trader Joe's wines. And that is that just by looking at their bottles and the wines that they have, you would never guess their price. I mean, this bottle looks absolutely gorgeous. If you're one of those people who actually look at labels and look at the way the bottle looks before you buy a wine, Trader Joe's is your place, because they have some beautiful wine bottle selections. So Côte du Rhône is the other one. Next up is a bottle of Pinot Noir. I always have Pinot Noir at home. This one, however, I'm a little skeptical about it. I'm a little bit snobbish when it comes to Pinot, so I either prefer them from France or I prefer them from Oregon or so, like not from California normally, but this one I'm exploring with my Pinot Noirs right now, so I really want to give California Pinot Noirs a better go, not just the Pacific Northwest, and Oregon so far within the US is my favorite for Pinots, but this one right here, let me just show you. This is how the bottle looks like. The bottle looked great. I think that this Pinot was a little bit pricier compared to the other couple of wines that I just showed you. So I think this one was at about $15 or $16 range. Santa Maria Valley in Central Coast, California, 13% ABV. Yep, the bottle looked great. So it seems here on the details that it was treated in French oak as well. Here we go, a bottle of Pinot Noir. Next to are two bottles of French Bordeaux. Again, another wine that I always have at home. And oh goodness, Trader Joe's has so much Bordeaux to choose from. They really do. Yeah, they have a ton of it. So you guys go explore, because they have Bordeaux starting at a $6 price range going up to $100+ price range. So these specific two that I got, one was a little bit cheaper and one was a little bit more expensive. And just by looking at the bottle, again, like something I want to point out, the bottle that to me was just my amateur eye looks more expensive, was actually cheaper. But looking at the vintage, it kind of explains it. So this one here, the prettier, in my opinion, bottle itself is a 2020 vintage. Yeah, and this is a Grand Cru, it says. So looks like a promising good Bordeaux. And this one right here is from Chateau de Bertin, I think it's pronounced, and it is a 2019 vintage. This one was a little bit more expensive. I will do my best to find prices for you guys to remind you. But then again, when I say pricier, in Trader Joe's world, it's not even that much. Or I should say outside of Trader Joe's world, it's not that much because prices there are just so good. So 2 bottles of Bordeaux. Okay, y'all, now this last wine here, you will be shocked by, most likely, especially those of you who know something about wine. Perhaps I have some wine enthusiasts or sommeliers watch my video. I don't know why they would, but perhaps. But this is a bottle of a Pet Nat. And let me just tell you something. It's been a while since I saw a Pet Nat in a store that's not a wine store. Matter of fact, I clearly remember going to Total Wine and More store, which specializes in wine, and they didn't carry a Pet Nat in their store. So these Pet Nats are for some reason very hard to find. I don't understand. Maybe it's just where I live here in Tampa, Florida. They're hard to find, but I've basically never had a Pet Nat before, and I am so excited to try this. So a Pet Nat, I am going to shoot a complete separate video about Pet Nats just because I want to learn more about them and I want to tell you guys about how this tastes. But this specific one is from south of France, and by the way, Pet Nat stands for Pétillant Naturel, which I believe is slightly sparkling in French, if I'm not mistaken, or naturally sparkling. And what that has to do with is just with the method in which they actually ferment the sparkling wine. So it's a slightly semi-sparkling wine, slightly sparkling wine, which is like mind-blowing to me. I'm so excited to try it. And apparently what they do is they let the fermentation happen in the bottle, but not the second fermentation. There's just one fermentation, right? They bottle this wine, they let the yeast that's already in there eat all the sugar, produce that alcohol and fizz, and that's it. So they don't do the second fermentation. They don't add more sugar and more yeast, you know, to produce more carbon dioxide and more alcohol for that matter. So it's a very light wine, and it's slightly fizzed. So it's semi-sparkling. It literally says it on the bottle. This one specifically is a rosé, and it says no sulfites added, no conservatives added, and no sugar added to it either. Take a peek. A Pet Nat. This is the bottle that I'm mostly excited about. You guys, this is nothing extraordinary. Pet Nats are not that exciting in the wine world, but I am thrilled that I actually found one. Another cool thing about Pet Nats is that because of the simplicity of this wine, they don't even cork them. Look at this. This is a crown cap, similar to what a beer or a cider has. So this is just so much fun to me. I don't know. I absolutely love the fact that I found a Pet Nat finally. And I'm so excited to try it and film a video for you. And this is it for my first episode of Alco-Haul here at my wine diary. If you guys are new to this channel, please make sure some other wine videos that I've made before. If you like them, if you enjoyed me talking about wine, perhaps subscribe. And if you're not new to this channel, if you're returning, thank you again for being a returning subscriber to my channel. I really appreciate you guys. If you have any ideas for my future videos, please leave a comment down below. If you've tried any of the wines that I just showed, leave a comment down below. Also down below are some social media handles where you can find me sharing some other aspects of my life with you besides just wine drinking. And this is it. So until next time, cheers everyone.